Is there a sign there that they feel, Peter, that they are heading in the right direction with everything that's going on? So much talk about this rebuild.
Yeah, but I can't. You can't say that that's happening at the moment. Obviously, you've got to win games on the field. The last game, obviously, lost badly. They need a reaction from that. But any time you're at a club like Manchester United, if you lose games, then there's huge scrutiny on you. When you're at a massive club like that, so it always feels like a disaster, even though you've lost just one game or two games. But unfortunately, that's the price you pay at a massive club like Manchester United.
I thought that was interesting last week, the Liverpool-Manchester United game. Usually, if a Liverpool team beat a Manchester United team 3-0, the world would stop. But I just thought the bad thing was I don't think it made that much ripples in world football, the result. So I think that's telling, and I think that'll be, for instance, if we was at Chelsea and we got turned over by a heavy score by one of our rivals, it would have been doom and gloom, and you would have been. So I think Manchester United are at a crossroads. Where do they go? And the new owners will want time to implement what they're doing. But you need. Crouchy's right. You need results on the pitch. You need to win games of football. That's the only thing that matters.
The first big decision from that leadership team was to keep Erik Ten Hag at the club, Peter. Do you believe that was the right decision?
Well, listen, time will tell. Obviously, it not got off to a great start, let's be honest. And obviously, we've, with the signings that have been made, as I said before, it's his team now. So the buck stops with the manager. They have to turn this around. They have to start, winning games. Like my worry is obviously in a kind of bracket now where you'd say kind of Newcastle, Aston Villa, teams like that. They have to finish above me. I don't put them in the bracket of Arsenal and Manchester City at the moment. They're not there yet. And
how far away?
Quite far. Being totally honest, I think they're miles behind those two teams. I think they're going to have a struggle to finish ahead of Newcastle and Aston Villa, and I think that's something that has to be said, and that's something that you look at. And I heard someone say recently, you're signing players to finish in the top four. This is Manchester United we're talking about. This is a club that should be winning league titles, that should at least be challenging every single season. And I think if you finish outside the top four, it's disastrous. And that's happened, and it can't happen again.
I'd just like to apologise if you picked up any bad language as well on the camera there. Joe, Peter talked about it being Ten Hag's team. 6 of the starters today was signed under him. He also gave Mainoo his debut as well. With that in mind, can there be no excuses?
No, I mean, it's very rare you get a long period of time at one of these clubs where things don't go according to plan. Like I said, I thought in the summer there's been so many changes within the club where the structure, new owners have come in, the structure's changed. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I reckon I'll be stunned if recruitment's not been. That whole department would be shuffled around, everything behind the scenes. So they probably looked at Erik Ten Hag. Well, he's done a decent job. He's won a couple of trophies. In a difficult time. So they've obviously gone with that. But there'd be so much change behind. Trophy,
but finishing 8th is okay.
It's not good enough, Linz. No, if they don't finish in the top 4, I think it's a disastrous season for a club of Manchester United's stature and the money they've spent. I think it's a really, really bad season. It's not acceptable.
I think in the normal circumstances, I would say it's unacceptable. But I think from where they actually are, I can't see them. I think if they get top 6 with this group of players, I think that's a fantastic season. Yeah. I don't think they'll get finished. I don't think they'll finish top 4.
I agree with you, Joe, but I just don't think that's acceptable for a club of that stature. I think you're allowed one, maybe season. That was last year. Then you go again. You have to improve and make sure you finish in the top 4 at least in the next season. And on the evidence we've seen so far, that's not been happening.
Quick answers. Do you think Ten Hag sees out the season?
It's difficult to say because
we're
in the bowels of the stadium.
Checking over your shoulder first before you answer. He's not there.
No one. You don't want to be talking like that, of course.
But do you think it's a relationship that will work out long term between him and the club?
Do you know,
on current evidence, no. I mean, listen,
to put it more politely.
Yes, he has to start winning games and winning them fast. Starting with today. I mean, there's huge pressure on this game.
Do you know what's insane? This is probably the only job where someone's going to work and he's going out to do his job, and he's getting 3 people talking about whether he's going to get the sack or whether he's going to stay in it. It is. So that's why Crouchy was looking over his shoulder like a prime Pirlo.
I feel for him. Like I say, we're football people, right? And we, no one wants to see that with anyone. He's got fantastic pedigree at previous clubs and stuff, but we have to talk open and honestly about what we see in front of us at the moment. And all the Manchester United fans are saying it in pubs, in bars, in wherever they are in the ground. They're all talking about it, and that's what we have to do. do as well, and unfortunately at the moment it's not been good enough.
I'll ask you outside next. Yes or no?
What if he should stay?
No, if he will be here at the end of the season.
No.